That day, Eden got a better glimpse of fire for the first time. It had engulfed the spacefaring vessel she resided in, hurtling toward a planet like a falling star consumed by its own light. Her caregivers, too inexperienced to save themselves, were completely at a loss when it came to saving her. When their vessel hit the planet they were never supposed to be on, they landed roughly in the water. The impact sent shockwaves through the hull, through their bones. When they saw how close they were to land, they should have rejoiced, but instead they felt dread, a heavy, sinking thing that settled in their chests like stones. There were inhabitants on that island, giants too big for the space, their shadows swallowing the sun. Beings strong enough to cause measurable effects around the whole world. They stomped about the island, devouring everything, their footfalls like thunder that shook the earth. Their ferocious appetite consumed everything on the island. There was no limit to their hunger, no satisfaction to be found, only an endless, gnawing void. When the giants saw Eden and her companions, their hunger only grew. To the giants, they were new morsels to be tasted, flavors they had not experienced. But they wanted to. They ached to, with a desire that burned in their eyes like fever. The vessel had barely breached that shore when the giants were considering their flavor. They stomped their way to the ship, each step closer a countdown. They banged at the door with fists like battering rams. As a group, the giants demanded that the inhabitants come outside so that they could be experienced. The hull of the ship warped under the assault, metal screaming its protests. The only other female of the trio volunteered to come out for the safety of the group. She hugged Eden tightly and hummed a mournful tune before she let go, the melody hanging in the air like smoke. She wiped her tears, resigning herself to her fate with the quiet dignity of the doomed. When she stepped out of the vessel, a giant snatched her up like a prize. She cried out as the giants wasted no time, their eagerness a terrible thing to witness. The male carried frightened Eden away, his arms trembling with urgency and fear. They made it to what looked like the giants' recreation area, a nightmare of fire pits and crude implements, before they were caught. The giants pulled them apart, screaming with triumph and anticipation. The giants wished to consume them too. The male was silent so quickly it was like he had never been there at all, his existence snuffed out like a candle. For Eden, they had other plans, darker intentions written in their hungry gazes. Or at least, that was their desire. While Eden was being carried roughly away, she saw a large white bird, pristine against the chaos. The giant holding her dropped her near cooking equipment, metal that gleamed with promised heat. She didn't hesitate, running toward that bird as if it were salvation itself. She had never run a day in her life, trapped in tiny confines before, but she moved with the speed of an Olympian, fear lending her wings she didn't know she possessed. She made it to the bird, hopping on its back, her hands gripping soft feathers. The bird lifted into the air without hesitation, understanding the unspoken need with an ancient wisdom. They lifted into the air, above the landing site, above the smoke and screams, away from her broken crewmates, away from a fate worse than death. She flew away to a safer, peaceful place, a place where there were green trees and grass that whispered in gentle winds, yellow blooms and fire that warmed rather than consumed. No aluminum, no fiberglass, and no tearful goodbyes. Only sky and freedom, and the steady beat of wings carrying her toward tomorrow.